Hi, I'm Sophie Wilson, and this is People of the Pool, where we have conversations with those making a positive change in Liverpool's business community. We're known for our music, for our culture, tourism, and of course, football. But what's caught my eye since moving back from down south is the innovation and entrepreneurship that's happening in the city region. And this podcast is about championing just that. I'm blue, not red. I don't have a purple wheelie bin, but I'm still a proud Scouser, and I can't wait to share the stories of positive, inspirational changemakers with me. In this episode of People of the Pool, we meet Vicky Gawith, founder of Mersey Made, a unique retail outlet cafe and hub showcasing and celebrating local artisans. Vicky, welcome to People of the
Hello.
Pool.
Hi, Sophie. Hi, thanks for having us on.
It's a pleasure. So, Mersey Made, tell us if you had a eureka moment behind the business.
I think for me, I would probably say it wasn't a eureka moment, but it was a build-up of different things. So when I think back sort of how it all came about, it probably goes back to just after uni. One of my jobs I had was I worked for John Lewis in the gift department. And I felt at that time, I really enjoyed the job, but you've sort of built that relationship up with clients, talking to them about different gifts, and you realised what a gift could mean to someone and the story behind them. So I enjoyed that moment. And then sort of I've grown up in Liverpool, and I used to go to the Blue Coat and the wonderful art shop there.
Yeah.
And I'd see those beautiful items, but they were always quite expensive and out of reach. And sort of as life's carried on, I sort of make things myself. My gran painted, my dad painted, my mum's always embroidered with me. So I'm quite much of a maker myself. So days off, I would go to the artisan markets that they'd have, say, at the pop-up at the Palm House, or you'd have in the cathedral. And I'd see these lovely items and all the local creatives making the items. And I'd be the type of person who would probably stockpile quite a few items that I keep in my loft to be able to give to friends over the next year or so. And then sort of historically, I've done different job careers. I'm trained chartered accountant, different things like that. But I've done a lot of work for charities, work for the Charity Commission. I've always wanted to go down the charity angle. And alongside working career, I've done a lot of volunteering, and I'm trustee of local charity now and things like that. And so quite community spirited, and somehow sort of all amalgamated in, I don't know, about 15 years ago, deciding I just had this idea of Mersey Made. Sort of the steps have come together, and I thought I want to try and make a place, a community hub, where I can support the creative businesses locally and bring to market in a way those items that they weren't getting there, because you'd have to wait to these pop up, to these different craft fairs and events like that. So back in 2013, I bought the domain name Mersey Made, and then it was just sort of when the timing was right for me. Sort of brought all my work skills together, but I've had 4 children along the way.
Wow.
So it was when they were that bit older that I thought I'm going to bring it to life. And in 2018, I knew about the business where Mersey Made was, that the area there was coming up for rental. So I pitched to the landlords and I brought it to life. Different steps to bring it here.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. So, what month was it in 2018?
So we started 2019, we opened the doors in November.
Okay.
Yeah, so just 4 months before the big C. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we'll come on to that. But we also started in 2018, so it's happy 5th birthday this year.
Yeah. So we were 2019 when we came to light. Yeah,
Okay.
we actually started, November 2019, the doors opened.
So, and you've got a space down Hanover Street. Is that?
It's actually Paradise Street.
Paradise Street.
We're actually part of the Baltic Quarter. Not everyone really thinks of us there because of where we are. So we're positioned. We're 2 minutes walk from John Lewis. So I always describe, if you come out the John Lewis bin entrance, if you know what I mean, you'll see a red brick building right in front of you, and that's called Chancery House. You'd see the Vibe Vegan Cafe on the right. On the left, Churrasco Steakhouse, and just around the corner is Mersey Made. So it's on the way. If you're walking to the Albert Dock or you're walking up to the Baltic, you'd see us there. And it's very much, there's 3 red brick buildings there. And we stand out in one of them. So just 2 minutes away from the centre of Liverpool.
From all the action.
Absolutely, and behind the bus station. So great place for people to come and find us. Yeah.
Fantastic. So for listeners who don't know about Mersey Made, just tell us what it is.
So we are a creative hub, and we're very much trying to support the creative industry, businesses within our city. We're offering that ability for people to showcase their items. So we started originally back in 2019 with 30 local creative businesses items we were selling. And the items can be gin, jam, honey, jewellery, artist prints, very, very varied. But we started with 30, we now have 100. So we're really, really pleased by that we've got more and more makers that come through. But alongside the shop area, we also had a cafe. So that's called Scribble, so as a nod to the artists. And we have a well-known chef, Sean Miller, who leads the kitchen for us there. He used to have 3 well-known restaurants, such as The Side Door and The Other Place locally. So he's also known for having the best hash browns in the city. People are really enjoying those.
You heard it here first on People of the Pool.
Absolutely. So that's
I am a hash brown fan, I have to say.
You have to come and get them because they are great. So we've got those, that's downstairs, and upstairs we have more cafe seating, so you can go and sit upstairs. And then it's sort of a horseshoe space area where we have 8 artist studios, and in those areas the artists will hire the space from us. So we've got different people. We have a nail artist, we've got abstract artists, graphic designers, textile artists, and lots of people where you can, and also now I have an origami artist who's also come to join us recently, and so you can come and speak to the artists and talk to them about what they're doing, and you can commission pieces. So that's quite something novel that you don't really have anywhere else in the city. So you very much feel part of the hub when you're up there. And then we have one more area, which is our event space. And that's the place where it's sort of the other side of the creativity, to very much make it as a hub. So we're helping people by selling, talking to people about their artwork, but people can also come and get creative themselves. So we have workshops there. So we've had silver jewellery workshops. We have candle making workshop last week. We've got pottery workshop next week. And we have away days with a different, so people can hire it for businesses.
Yeah.
But it can be sort of your average business meeting. Where it could be like boardroom style for 20, but we can set up workshops for 30, and they could be a business meeting where you end up by doing felted foxes. We've had recently. We've had wine tastings at the end of business meetings and gin nights. So
I approve.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So there's a lot going on every day at Mersey Made. I'd say is different because there's always something different going on.
Yeah. Wow. And the sheer diversity: gin, jam, nails, foxes.
Absolutely.
How do you find makers and artists, and how do you select them?
So my friend Jenny Dunlop, so basically I grew up this side of the water in Woolton, but I now live on the Wirral. And Jen and we have children similar age, and we're on the Parents Association together. And so I had the idea of the Mersey Made and sort of the makers. Jen is one of those makers, so she'd be at the makers markets, and I spoke to her about it at the beginning and said, do you think this could work? And she said yes. And so from our point of view, creatives' point of view, we have people coming to us and saying, where can we find you on a regular basis? So Jen helped me bring Mersey Made to life. So it was in 2018 we started doing a few different tours around, and the country went to Manchester, went to Sedbergh, and looked at other different creative hubs. And then Jen's from Belfast, so we went over there to a place as well, and yes, we sort of brought it to life that way.
So you
really
took inspiration from
absolutely.
Other
So Jen then knew different makers. So some came at the start of the journey, but then word has spread, which has been great. So we're always asking people to refer and come to us. But we have admitted at the moment there's a lot of makers who would like to come in, but we have, say, only 6 candle makers because we can't let too many in because the ones that we have wouldn't sell, etc. So we sort of rotate who we have in and let people, see if their wares will sell. And then we have very much regulars whose items very much, top of the list. We'll always want people in Liverpool would always want those special gifts.
I love how candlestick makers is a thing.
Yeah. Oh, very much. Yeah.
Butchers and bakers.
There as well. Yeah. And even like locally made honey. If you want to get honey from your area, we have different postcodes and different things like that because they say that helps as well, doesn't it? For different things. So.
Well, I believe that if you have honey made from bees from your local area,
that's right.
Hay fever, because that's the natural, the pollen.
Absolutely, the process, So we have those. And a recent one we got through was Merseyside, which we didn't. Ooh. We loved that. So we loved the turn on the word. But there's 3 different ciders. I think the Brannigan brothers make. But the actual one that's called Merseyside, it's all made from apples locally. And he'll actually have people will just drop their apples off at his house.
Locally? Wow.
Yeah, and he makes them into cider. So we have Merseyside.
Whereabouts in Liverpool City?
So he's Southport way.
Okay.
Yeah, they're up that way. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, it just sounds like there's a whole kind of eclectic mix of.
That's right. And we're able to give the
creatives.
Stories behind the bit. That's also positive. If you come to speak to our shop staff and ask about different products, we're able to tell you the story about the makers and where they're from. And we're offering that route to market because people, they might just be a small business when they're first starting. They're making things at home in the garages, in the bedrooms even, or they could be in a lockup and they don't have that regular space where they can showcase items, and share their creations. That's what we're proud to have been giving people.
We've created People of the Pool podcast with the support of the team at Bengo Media. Dozens of businesses, large and small, turn to Bengo Media to get their podcasts up and running through their training, consultancy, and even hands-on production. And right now, Bengo Media is offering you, People of the Pool listeners, free online training to help get your podcast launched in 90 days. You'll get insight into the steps to take and some of the biggest mistakes to avoid. So, to claim your free online podcast training from Bengo Media, go to podcastschools.com now. That's podcastschools.com. So you mentioned stories.
Yeah.
What's your favourite story to have come out of Mersey Made?
I think favourite moment. I think one of them maybe is, I don't know how to describe it, how we've done it, but we're really proud at Mersey Made that we're seen as a safe space. Last year we were awarded Northwest Business, LGBTQ plus Northwest Business Ally Award, basically.
Oh wow, congratulations.
And we were really, really proud of that. And we've tried to look back and think, what is it? But I think from the very, very beginning, whether it's because we're quite an eclectic place with lots of different things in the place, that it makes perhaps the customers also feel like, anything goes, we'll welcome anybody to the space. But lots of people will come to Mersey Made, but we have, and one of the moments I often picture is I remember being there one day and a gentleman came in, and he came in with his suitcases and asked if he could leave them somewhere. But basically, after he for a moment, and what he'd done is he'd gone into the toilets, he'd come out as a lady, gave me the suitcases, we'd put them somewhere, and he sat in the coffee shop for about 2 hours. Nice. And then basically asked for his suitcases back, changed again, and went out as a different person. But it's not your average coffee shop that people feel comfortable enough perhaps to do that. And so really that sort of perhaps gives an idea of how that safe space is what we're proud of.
You fostered that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Just in the being there.
I think so. We have sort of unisex toilets, and we have like a lift, so it's also friendly for different disabilities and things like that. So yes, lots of people feel happy they can come and be involved in anything we have there. Yeah.
What do you think are the sort of challenges right now facing local artisans and makers, and how do you think you're addressing that for them?
I think challenges, it'll always be finding a way to sell their items. I think we've been very lucky that we started the idea. I mean, I had to write a business plan at the very beginning to get funding for different things, different loans, and one of the questions I had, what will Brexit do? How will this work at that point? But I feel with COVID, it almost brought on what Brexit was going to do. And I felt that, it could almost be a positive, because people might start thinking about what's on the high street and thinking more locally. That has enabled us to happen. And I think because of that, people are embracing the idea of what we're doing at Mersey Made. So we're giving that showcase, the items to do that. And because of that, we were very lucky. I think this year we've been able to have a pop-up. Liverpool One have enabled us to have a pop-up, which has been great. That was just before Christmas, and it's going to be finishing at the end of this month.
So that's another retail.
It's basically another retail space, absolutely. And I think it's Liverpool One have seen, hopefully through us, recognising that we're able to help people locally. It's not always the big brands that they're wanting to support, but it's also local businesses, and that's one way of doing it. And so we've been able to give that offering for people.
So for listeners outside of Liverpool One being the big shopping centre destination, which does mostly have big brands in it,
absolutely,
doesn't it? But now you have this nice outlet in the it's in the little cut through, isn't
That's right, yes, near Waterstones.
Exactly.
And it's very good. It's only a few minutes away from us, but it's just that little bit more footfall and recognition of what we're doing, which has been good. But it's also, along with the shop and the items we're selling, it's also enabling people to come and do workshops. So we're helping the potters, say, for example, we've actually got a boob workshop, boob pot workshop, sorry.
A boob pot workshop,
yes.
Tell me more.
Yeah. So that's Sunday coming, and we're going to have people come and make 3 boob pots to take away. That's an example.
Do you mould your boob? How does this work?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, yeah. So we do flower workshops, pottery. There's other things can be done. But yes, there's lots going on like that.
Can you make a Jugs jug?
We can. Yeah. Absolutely. Another one, origami animals. But that's a way of supporting. There's other businesses as well, who do things that way. And I think mental health is always a plus, when you come and get involved in workshops, can help people that way. So
it's giving artists exposure to other revenue streams, presumably, but also involving the community and
that's right.
offering up these experiences to try.
Yeah. And also, the wine tasting, we have this gentleman, Jonathan Gary Bacchus Wines, and he has them every other month. But, the last one, I think there were 20 people, and they just came and had a fun evening. You're giving that nice experience for people. And we're also actually, the next few months, we've got something else we're going to be doing. We're actually going to be opening the evenings at Mersey Made. So we've opened a little bit for shopping on the run up to Christmas. We're actually going to be opening properly. And that's been a hard thing because we're not really known for that yet. But obviously we've got a license till midnight in the premises. So we're going to open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And alongside that, we're going to start doing different events. Yeah. So we've had quite a few. We've got a book area now. We have quite a few. So it's the creative word we're supporting as well. So local authors. We've got but their books we're selling, but there's a few talks we're going to have from different Beatles authors, for example. And I've been in touch with some lecturers at John Moores who might be coming and talking about other things, historic things in Liverpool.
Gosh, so much going on.
Yeah.
So much going on. You must be a very busy lady.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you'd gone touring around to sort of learn from other places. What do you think that other places could learn from Liverpool and our business culture?
Yeah. I think friendliness. I think that is, to me, is very much has been the positive about Liverpool. I think wherever you are, you get a smile. People will always want to be in, chat to you. We want to know where your story is. And that's, we come at Mersey Made because we're in the centre and perhaps obviously the name, people sending people to us. We're having a lot of tourists come in, which is great.
Yeah.
And you hear their stories, why they're here, what they enjoyed. And I think that's what I found within the business community here. People very much said to me, Liverpool, it's like a small town, really. I trained as an accountant here and worked for the Charity Commission, but I went away for a few years and worked in a charity over in the Wirral. And I've come back that many years on, and it's still got that positive, supportive culture. And I think that's what we have here in the business, business environment.
That's absolutely a common recurrent theme on this podcast, I have to say, that sort of positive community spirit and that Scouse can-do attitude.
Yes,
for sure, but helping each other out along the way.
Absolutely. And I think that's it. People have been, because we had a tough start really just before COVID, and so I didn't really do much networking, perhaps till after but yes, people have been very much embracing and giving us ideas and letting us know, and spreading the word for us, which has been really positive,
Fantastic. So connecting those worlds of art and business and giving local makers exposure.
Yeah.
And also, I guess, putting the Liverpool name on the map as well with the tourist influx from the Albert Dock area.
Yeah.
On that note, and talking about the Beatles.
Yes. Yeah.
If you had to name Mersey Made alternatively with a Beatles song title, what would it be?
So I think for that one, maybe it needs to be Every Little Thing.
Ooh.
Because every little thing, we feel that there's a story behind every little thing that we sell at Mersey Made, whether it's the maker and the item. And I think it's those tourists that can take that item and go back, whether it's Canada or Ireland, and look and remember their experience that we've given them.
Absolutely love that. How original as well. I love how with every single person we've had on here, it's been a different, we haven't yet had a single duplication. But
good. Okay.
That's really wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Vicky. If you had one thing that you wanted listeners to People of the Pool to take away today from our chat, what would it be?
I think for me, I feel thanks, actually. I think because of our business journey when we started, it's not been straightforward. And, whether it's been COVID and then it's electricity, bills, and then it's cost of living crisis, etc. But we have found support by people coming to us and spreading the word. We were voted, we were really lucky last year, we voted Best Creative Business in Liverpool City Region, and just even to be nominated for that, put forward, it was amazing. And I think it's that support, it's the thanks really to people here. I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, Vicky, it's been a pleasure having you on and learning about Mersey Made. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Sophie.
If you want to find out more about some of the amazing things that are going on in Liverpool City region, go to www.tuesday-media.com/People of the Pool. People of the Pool is presented by me, Sophie Wilson. Until next time.